Welcome to Ag Shorts. I'm Calen. He's Brandon. Today we talk preconditioning calves. We've talked about it before, but this is going to be 5 minutes or less. What is it? Why do we do it? And when do we do it?
Good question. Um, we give shots when we brand as a basically a protection against all kinds of maladies, 8-way type, black leg, you name it. There's a bunch of things to protect against, like shipping fever. So we vaccinate early, and then in the
That's
fall,
May.
that's May, end of May. Then they go out onto pasture. And then when we are ready to sell, then we will gather everybody up, bring them in, vaccinate again. We'll give them another round. And then between 2 and 6 weeks later, before they go are shipped, then we'll give them a second round of the same dose. So you're basically just getting boosters of anything that could be a disease that they could pick up, especially in through the sale yards, if you go that route, or where other cattle are being brought together and shipped and using the same facilities. I mean, that's
Right.
where you can pick something up. One animal. It's just like having one kid comes to school with a cold, and if they're not isolated or you're not protected, a lot of others get sick. So it's not quite the same way, but it's very similar. They're have the ability to be spread through either casual contact or through the facilities themselves if they're not clean. So that's something you just protect against, and you don't want to see your animals die or get sick when they leave, and you certainly don't want that buyer to not want to buy your animals later on because they're not protected. So that's
Right.
that's why we precondition.
And how expensive is this endeavor?
It's significant. That's the problem. I mean, there are people that don't precondition. There are people that don't believe in even giving any kind of protective type of inoculation, and that's fine. I mean, it's still, even though you do it, it doesn't mean that they're not say you want to say organic or a natural animal. They still are. They're not being fed hormones or
Right.
antibiotics. We have done antibiotics. We absolutely needed to, but those animals are segregated then too. But some people don't. We do. Just want to be as good to those animals as we can be. But that those rounds of shots, you're putting some dollars into them. By the time you're done, you can be up there $25 a head, or right around there, even a little more, a little less, depending, with the cost of your vaccines for those 3 different rounds.
All right. About 90 seconds. You can get bad batches with vaccines too with humans. Can you get that with animals as well? And what are some of the repercussions for that?
Yeah, I've seen that. I was 10, 12 years old and riding with my grandpa. He was working for somebody. We branded, uh, vaccinated everybody, and within a week, pretty soon there were dead calves everywhere. They were losing them, and I mean, his entire herd was going by the wayside, and they weren't the only ones. There were some others around the country. Of course, the manufacturer didn't want to talk about that. So, oh, you're the only ones. It must be something on your place. Well, that was not true.
Yeah.
And I should ask him. He's still around. He's retired, but I should ask him whatever happened with that. If they reimbursed him for some of those animals or not. But it was bad batch of vaccine, and it was deadly on a good number. And I can't remember what percentage, but it was significant. That 15-20% mortality is sticking to my head. It might be more. It was bad. There were dead calves everywhere.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of us with preconditioning, vaccines, and some of the information that we've learned and experienced when it comes to taking care of critters in our ranching years.